Hi, this is Patrick at Lucky Sheep. I've spent most of my life perfecting the art of sleeping outdoors. In fact, when I was in high school, I was enamored with Native Americans, and I wanted to, sleep outside every day, every night, and even, live outside. But the best I could do was to carry my bedding out into the lawn and sleep outside at night. And I noticed that I slept so much better. I felt so much better breathing all that fresh air. And well, I didn't really know, exactly what it was, but I felt like $1 million better. Plus, I didn't really need to sleep as much to get the same level of rest. And but then I noticed, I didn't really think about it too much, but when, a lot of times when it would dew, I would be soaking wet in my sleeping bag, and there was something that there was something that wasn't quite right, or I couldn't feel comfortable. So I thought it was just a part of sleeping outside, that you have to feel that way. That's just part of the game. But I found out in the last few years that it's not, and I actually improved. I love where I've came with my philosophy and gear for sleeping outdoors. I have a whole set of almost all natural fabric, mostly wool, and some waxed cotton. And, so I'm camping here at Big Creek in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. That's not too far from the Lucky Sheep headquarters, and also where I grew up in Cullowhee, North Carolina. And I brought a set of gear that I'm going to show you and demonstrate how it all works together. I'm here at Big Creek in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and this is my shelter. Although it didn't rain last night, but you never know, so you always gotta have it ready just in case. And so I kind of slept outside, where I kind of pulled my bed outside a little bit so I could, just get a little more of the air, although there was really good air in there anyway. It's very roomy. Okay, so you can hear the creek, and it's over there, and I'm going to... Okay, so here is the gear. What you see here is this all of this fit in my pack, and this set of all natural gear. It's not like all natural, but it's as natural as I've gotten so far. And this set of gear weighs about 30 pounds once it's inside the pack, including the water and the food for 4 days. This could easily go down into a 20-degree temperature range, which means actually that this is a good through hiking. Like this is the type of gear that you could take on a through hike, like of a Appalachian Trail or Pacific Crest Trail or something, because it goes to the right temperature rating. I'm going to demonstrate everything here one by one, and I'm going to pack it in the pack, and you'll see how it all fits together. Okay, so we'll start here, over here. This is the Lucky Sheep sleeping bag. This is kind of what makes the whole thing work, because without the sleeping bag, you wouldn't have your natural fiber set. You would be fighting against synthetics. And okay, so this weighs 4 pounds, and it is rated at 20 degrees. It's not really officially rated. It's just rated by personal experience and feedback from customers that this is equivalent to a 20-degree sleeping bag. Now, that you might need to wear a base layer to feel comfortable at 20 degrees. But I would recommend always wearing a base layer anyway, because that's how you keep your sleeping bag from getting the sweat and dirt off your body. Okay, the next thing is, this is a one-of-a-kind Lucky Sheep prototype beeswaxed canvas rain parka. So this is it's not 100% waterproof. It's sort of like about the equivalent of Gore-Tex, where it keeps you relatively dry, but not totally dry. So that's why right here, but it's super breathable. That's the whole point of it, is that you're talking about breathability, and you're not going to get all sweaty from overheating from a synthetic jacket. And then over here above it is the rain umbrella, which can be used for rain or sun, and that's great in conjunction with this jacket for breathability and ventilation. Okay, so the next thing is the wool felt hat, which is, it's good for shade, the sunshade, and also rain, if I wasn't using the umbrella. Okay, and the next thing is this is it's a sort of like a hat, a merino head warmer. It's not a hat because it's open on both ends, and you put it over your head. It's very, very light. I don't even know if it's even an ounce. And here is these are the Lucky Sheep prototype hiking pants, which are made from lightweight cotton and treated with our beeswax formula to keep so that it is, it's water repellent, definitely not waterproof. It gets wet just like nylon gets wet, only it doesn't absorb the water and keep it next to you. So that's why they're great, because they're breathable. So we want breathability. That's our goal. Okay, so then here are the socks. I've got several pairs of socks because, like, you know, one for wearing, one for sleeping, and then one would be like for washing while the dirty one you wash while you have a clean pair. That was this is just a one-night trip I'm making, that I'm testing my gear. I'm just bringing my gear that I would take even on a through hike, just to kind of test it out here. Okay, so here is my little sweater, just a lightweight wool sweater, lamb's wool sweater. Okay, then here, the base layer, here are the pants, the bottom base layer, and the top base layer of these shirts. These are, I brought several because I have this idea of layering several layers of both the pants and the shirts, as you know, as a way to stay warm, and instead of bringing in extra sweaters or something, because it's so adjustable, so adjustable to be able to 1, 2, 3, or even 4 layers of merino wool, and take one off as you need it. And of course, this is just like, I didn't need hardly really any of it on this trip. I'm just bringing everything I would take on a 20-degree trip. And this is another shirt, one of the 4 shirts. And this is a merino scarf. Its dimensions are 20 inches by 60 inches, and I use it, you know, it's just kind of nice to have an extra cloth. It has so many uses, and one of them is at night I wrap it around my head, and it keeps my head warm, and also keeps the light out of the eyes, in case, like in the morning, I like to sleep and not have the sunlight wake me up. I like to sleep longer, and so I love being able to just shut out all the light, and it shuts out some of the sound too in a real natural way, muffles it. Okay, and then this is the backpack, the Lucky Sheep 80-liter backpack. made out of waxed, beeswaxed cotton, beeswax canvas cotton, and it is amazing. I'll show you how it goes together. Okay, this is the liner. So now we're getting into some synthetics that I use. This is a sil nylon, 1.1 ounce sil nylon bag that goes inside the backpack to keep the things dry that are in the clothes and the sleeping bag. That's what I put in that. Okay, then the water bottle. Don't need a really big one here because I'm next to a creek. First aid kit. This is also part of the first aid kit. I brought a ton. There are several supplements. I won't go into it because that's for another video. But the first aid kit and toiletries, like toothbrush and things, and then like kind of inside that bag, and then all kinds of herbs and things for the first aid kit. And then okay, so now we're looking at the tent stakes and the trowel for digging cat holes and tent stakes. Okay, and then this is the stuff sack that the ground cloth goes in. So everything here is on a ground cloth, and that sil nylon 1.1 ounce, and that the ground cloth goes in that stuff sack. This is the tent. This is it looks way bigger than it really is. It only weighs 1 pound actually. With the stakes and the ground cloth, it goes up to 2 pounds. So the total shelter is 2 pounds, and that fits 2 people. So that is a very light shelter. And then this is just my bag of food that's left over. And then these are my minimalist shoes, which are Vivo Barefoot, and they are made from leather. The tops are leather from wild cows, and I love them, just love them. I keep them waxed with beeswax, and they stay. They're very actually waterproof, pretty much. Walk right through a mud puddle, but they're still breathable as far as shoes go. So I really can't stand synthetic on my feet. Okay, so we made our all the way around. So now I'm gonna pack it all into the backpack and show you how that works. Okay, first I will put the clothes into their stuff sack. Okay, just throw them in there. Save that because I'll be wearing those socks. Okay, okay, here are the clothes. I don't know, I need to weigh it. I'll put all the weights on the notes when I get them weighed. Okay, so here is the liner. This is the liner that goes inside the backpack, and I will put the Lucky Sheep wool sleeping bag Rewilder in first, and then the clothes. Okay, and then I leave things out, like I might need the rain jacket and the hat and the umbrella, so these things will go towards the outside of the pack as well. The shoes and socks also. And okay, so now here, I forgot to mention this, the closed cell foam pad. I'm using a Thermarest Ridge Rest. But any closed cell foam pad will work, and you do need a pad to work with this system because the pad becomes the frame for the backpack. So okay, so see, here's the pad. I roll it up a little bit. I'm gonna stick it down in there, and it will like create a circumference around the inside of the backpack, and I do that to like make it expand as far as it will, so to go around. Okay, so there you go. So inside the middle of that, that's where everything goes, and we start with the liner, which has the sleeping bag and the clothes down in there. Plus, it's a good idea to put the heaviest things near the bottom for the. It makes the pack easier to distributes the weight in a way that works the best with the physics. So because you want the most of the weight near the center of gravity of your body, so that happens to be near the bottom of the pack. So there's the liner, so that stuff is not going to get wet. And then the other stuff might get wet, might not get wet, you know, it kind of just depends. But okay, so now I put the pot. This is the pot, which is a titanium 1 liter pot, and then this is the stove, which is the gasifier twig stove. So these go in there. Then the first aid kit. Then some things go on the outside in order to, because the outside, like things, this could be wet. The tent, the ground cloth things, they could be wet. You know, if it was raining, they'd be wet. So you'd want them on the outside. So, and plus they can get wet, unlike the other things, and still work. So it goes in that outside pocket, the tent, and the ground cloth. So the ground cloth, I have to get it ready to put in. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so another way about the ground cloth, the technique for packing it is, just in case it was wet, grab it by the middle of the dry side, so the wet side is touching itself, and then I kind of roll it up around my hand, and then the wet part is touching itself, the dry part is staying on the outside, and then when it goes in its stuff sack, it kind of stays that way. So if you get to camp and don't have time to dry things out, it's going to be workable with this system. Although, see, the thing is, it could get wet, see? Because here it is on the outside pocket. If it was a drenching rainstorm and I didn't have the umbrella over it the whole time, it would get wet. So, you know, things get wet. That's part of camping, is like you're kind of like merging with the elements, and or at least experiencing the elements, and so the thing about wet and moisture is that the fact that our body is like 70-80% water, right? So if we're already water, then you can't really keep water out. So the traditional modern way of working with rain gear is to wear synthetics, which keep the rain out on the outside. However, your body is sweating because you're exercising and moving. Even if you weren't moving, you'd still be releasing moisture from your body, and it would be trapped inside, so you'd still be wet. So the thing is you want ventilation and breathability, and so that's why this system rocks, because it's bringing like the best elements, so that you can work with the elements, and you can be breathable, but still like not have too much moisture and cold. The main thing is not to get cold. Okay, so that's why we have the umbrella and the breathable rain parka, which is organic canvas treated with beeswax pine resin formula. Okay, and the hat, which is sort of like a mini umbrella, and so that's my system. So, oh, you know what? I forgot to put the sweater in the clothes. I'm gonna have to take it out, take everything out. But see, it's not too bad because this is kind of a stuff sack based system. So you know, you get used to like living out of stuff sacks, organizing with stuff. I love stuff sacks. I mean, like, it's kind of one of my like obsessions is stuff sacks, because you know, you can put everything in it. It's nice and contained, organized, and it helps me to keep track of everything. Like you know, that stuff sack has that stuff sack has that, and I love stuff sacks. I don't know, you know, when you don't have furniture, you don't have drawers and shelves and closets with hangers and things like that, you know, you got to find another way to manage your organization, and that's why. And also, you know, this pack, some people might say, oh, I don't like that pack because everything is stuck in there and you can't like unzip it like halfway through and get something out. You have to take everything out. But you know, it really doesn't. I mean, in my experience, in my opinion, you get used to it and it works just as well as a backpack that has zippers galore that go all over the place, and it's just another way of doing it that you get used to. All right, so there, it's back in there, and then this thing is so waterproof that I gotta let the air out before I close it up. Okay. All right, so there, it's back in there. Put all these things back in here. The pot, titanium pot, the stove, the twig burning stove, first aid kit. Okay, part of the first aid kit. And okay, now what are we looking at? Now we've got the food, which I put it on top because it's kind of one of the first things you pull out. Oh, these are flashlights. See this tiny stuff sack, and you know, I mean, you don't even need a stuff sack, but I like it to be because it makes you feel organized. Okay. Oh, iPhone. That actually should technically be in the liner or in a Ziploc bag, actually, on the outside. Oh yeah, this pocket knife goes in with the flashlights. I have two flashlights because I'm testing one of them out to see how I like it. And toiletries, toothbrush, and things. Well, that should be in the first aid kit right here. I'll just put it in there. And then this goes on the outside. Flashlights and pocket knife, you might need that, so it goes on the outside. So this will go in one of these pockets here. Okay, and so does this umbrella. Okay. Okay, so this will go near the top of the pack because if it rained, I'd probably grab it, as well as this rain parka. Let's see. The tent stakes and trowel. They go next to the tent because they all go together, and they can get wet. So stuff on the outside that can get wet, then that's why you put it on the outside. Okay, so we got water bottle. I think it can go there. That's the umbrella. Actually, I'll just put it on the other side because there's more room there. Okay, so it's taking shape. Okay, so we'll put the food in because it's one of the things that you know, you kind of grab it as soon as you get to camp. After you set up your tent in case it rained. Then you kind of grab your food and start figuring out your food. And then rain parka. And a hat, which is a crushable hat. That's why it's good for backpacking. And then cinch this up. Okay. Okay, it comes with a little flap over the top, and then it gets closed up again with these straps at the top. You can cinch it down, so you're cinching it top to bottom, because you want your backpack to be as tight as it can be so that it doesn't move around while you're hiking. And then another way to adjust your backpack is right this here, this cinch strap. You pull this, and this like further tightens the pack. And also another thing to be aware is, as you're packing, like some symmetry, so that when you're walking, like one side isn't too heavier than the other side. So consider that when you're packing, so that everything gets as evenly distributed as possible weight-wise. Okay, so here is the Lucky Sheep pack, all ready to go, with you know, just about any weather and down to 20 degrees, rain, snow, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on, and there's different ways to put this pack on. The cross chest strapping system. And I'm just going to show you the ground version. I put my shoes on last because I like to be barefoot, keep getting more grounded as much as possible. But, so here's the ground version of putting it on. So it's probably like one of the, see, it's different because like it's a crossed chest strapping system. So these straps go like this. Like, how in the world could you put that on? You can't just sling it on one arm and then sling it on the other arm like normal shoulder backpacks. So the way it works is you clip one cross chest thing first, and then you clip the other. You can do it standing up, but I'm just showing you one of the versions of doing it. And oh yeah. Well, actually, once you get one on, you can totally stand up. And these straps are already cinched all the way down, which is pretty much what you do later. You kind of gotta loosen it up just to get it on. Okay, and then there's a hip belt. Same thing. See, they're already cinched up all the way, but you do that after you put it on. Okay, there. There. All right, I'm ready to rock and roll with all my Lucky Sheep natural fiber outdoor gear. Stay wild.